In a dramatic change of events, I'm going to actually talk about Wrack's development in the Wrack development blog. I know, right? Crazy talk. I was going to talk about the balance design principle this week, but instead, I have something much better to talk about. Something I'm pretty excited to talk about, and just had to talk about now. But before I get to that, some of you may be familiar with the show Extra Credits. For those of you who aren't, it's a show that in part covers a wide variety of interesting game design topics. In one of their recent videos, they talked about ways to keep a game interesting as it progresses, through what they call differences in scale and differences in kind. Differences in scale refers to things like bigger, more epic fights and tougher enemies. The nature of the gameplay stays essentially the same, but the degree of it changes. Differences in kind, though, is the opposite. It's not a change of degree, it's a change of nature. The way you play the game changes dramatically. For instance, on one level you might be fighting a battle on foot, and on the next in a vehicle. A great example of this concept is the Super Nintendo game Contra 3, where most of the game is a side-scroller, but a couple of the levels have a top-down view. Of course, as with anything, you can certainly overdo it. Stupid clock puzzles. The changes in nature don't even have to be gameplay changes. One moment you could be blasting a ton of enemies, and the next watching a cutscene. Now, we've tried to do a lot of this in Wrack from the get-go. For instance, every couple of levels we're introducing new gameplay mechanics to spice things up, just like they do in games like Castlevania and Mega Man. We've also got storyboards and cutscenes on the way to help keep things all spiced up. But as I spent the past couple of weeks redesigning Level 6, I got to a particular part where I thought, you know what, I can do better. I can make this more interesting. So today I'm going to show you what I've done with one of the particular areas. And I think you'll agree, much better. So here we have the original Level 6. Yeah, I'll give you guys a minute to clean the vomit off your keyboards. Alright. So, and basically, specifically, this is the area that I've spent the past couple of days redesigning. Because as you'll see here in a second, it's really not too interesting. You have a little room here. Actually, why don't we get rid of the blocking faces so you can see more of it? There we go. Much better. So, I mean, you have some stairs here. You have some hallways, this little end room here. There's some jump pads there. Those aren't textured, but that's what they are. Yeah, I mean, it's really run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. You know, some corridors and rooms with some monsters thrown in. There's some jump pads and stairs here, but I mean, it's nothing really all that interesting. So, I really thought, you know what, I can do better. I can spice this up. There's more interesting things that I can do with this. And basically the whole motif of this level is force fields. These force fields are being utilized in all sorts of different ways, and you have to basically deactivate them most of the time to go through them and progress through the level. And it seemed kind of natural, like force fields. Like there should be some kind of like puzzle involving force fields. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do in the redesign of this level. Now, spoiler, I'm going to show you what I actually did with it. So, spoiler coming. Okay, ready? You've been warned. All right, here we go. And boom. Okay, so I mean, this is what I've done with it. It's basically this multicolored force field puzzle. So in addition to the regular Wrack gameplay, I mean, there are still monsters in here that you're trying to blast and everything. But basically, you have to deactivate all these force fields so that you can basically get through to the center area here. So yeah, I mean, basically the way that this ends up working is that you can deactivate all of the colors at the same time. So, for instance, like there's like a lot of these switches will like disable all the red force fields, and then some will disable all the green force fields. The blue ones, those are always there. Those aren't going away. Those are kind of like a permanent barrier, which is kind of one of the motifs of this particular level. In the next ones, you can disable some of the blue ones, but so basically, you can deactivate one of the two colors, but when you deactivate that color, it reactivates the other color. So when you get rid of the red force fields, the green ones come back, and when you get rid of the green force fields, the red ones come back. So basically, you have to kind of figure out which switches are doing which, and I'm hoping maybe we can color code these switches, so like you can visually see like this is a green switch, so it turns on the green ones. Maybe this is a red one, so it turns on the red ones. Get to work on that, Remco. But anyway, basically it's something different to kind of spice up the gameplay. Now it's not like a super hard puzzle. Like for instance, in Torchlight 2, there's some really difficult like switch puzzles where like you're just banging your head against the wall and just kind of mashing out every combination possible until you finally get it. But I mean this one it's pretty logical. It's not too difficult to figure out. It's probably futurized and you should get it no problem. But point is it's something different to help spice up the gameplay. It's something different. It's something they get your mind working in different ways, which is great. It's stimulating. It's interesting, and it's also a nice, memorable area too. Instead of just more corridors, more shooting monsters, more whatever. So anyway, that's what I've done with this area that I think should spice things up, and I can't wait to get this done and for you guys to try it and check this out. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. Talk to you all next week.